Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to dive into a topic that impacts quite a few of us, adjusting to life after travel. Whether you've just returned from an epic journey or you're contemplating settling down after a nomadic lifestyle, then this video is for you. Now, I know just how hard it can be to transition from a life on the road to a more stationary lifestyle. Just over 2 months ago, I found myself in a similar situation. After 14 months on the road, I had to undergo a small surgical procedure before returning to work. And let me tell you, the struggle to find balance and fulfillment in everyday life, the struggle was so real. So let's dive into some practical tips on how to navigate this transition. The first tip I have is embracing routine with flexibility. While routine might seem daunting after a life of travel, it can provide some stability.
Charlie and I go for a lot of walks throughout the day to break up the monotony. We try to be outside as much as possible, and that really helps to keep your spirits lifted with some sunshine.
However, don't be afraid to tweak your routine to keep things interesting.
Funny. I'm going to get you. He's silly. Happy girl.
The second tip is to cultivate hobbies and interests. One of the best ways to combat road sickness is to find joy in everyday surroundings. Explore new hobbies or revisit old ones to keep your sense of adventure alive. For instance, like for me, after traveling for 14 months, I found that I really want to learn how to do some silversmithing and lapidary work, and I was able to do a lot of rock hounding while I was out traveling, and I was able to bring those treasures home with me. So now I want to figure out how can I turn this into something and create something more with it.
I brought home so many little treasures like this, and I've got fire agate and Pecos diamonds. I've just got so many ideas swirling around on what to do with it.
The third tip I have is to stay connected. Maintaining relationships with fellow travelers can really give you a sense of being out there with them and living vicariously through them. It can make you feel more connected to the nomadic lifestyle while settling down. I know I keep up with my really good friends Dawn and Mella while they've been out traveling because it really gives me a good sense of what they're doing, and I'm living vicariously through them, and I know that I'm manifesting this for my future again, to be out there with them and be able to meet up again. And I also have a great friend, Nicole, that I met. I met all my friends in California along the way. So I keep in touch with quite a few people to keep those relationships alive to make it better for the next time that I decide to travel. Now, let's address that persistent wanderlust that is gnawing at your soul.
I mean, okay, it's kind of hard not to feel road sick after having an epic adventure like this. I will be dreaming of the next time that I'm able to do this again, for sure.
Here's a few tips for combating road sickness. First tip there is plan some mini adventures. Just because you're settling down doesn't mean that you give up your entire lifestyle of wanting to get into some type of adventure here and there. It doesn't mean the adventure has to stop. So plan some weekend getaways, like an overnight somewhere, or do a day trip, like go hiking. You know, today I'm out for this beautiful hike in a local park. It gives me a little sense of adventure, and I love being outside. So if I'm not working or I don't have any previous engagements, I want to be out here in nature, enjoying all that it has to offer, whether it's at a local park or I go hit a bigger trail or I pick up the camper and I go for a night out somewhere. And weekend getaways and like day trips, that's the perfect way to satisfy your adventurous spirit. Tip number 2, create an adventure-inspired space in your home. Whether it's a little nook in the corner, set up some pictures that remind you of your adventure, some souvenirs that you've collected along the way. That can really help inspire your next big adventure to come and help you settle into a more stationary lifestyle while reflecting on all the adventures that you had. For me, I have my little camper that I can go sit in anytime to reminisce about the wonderful trip that I have. So that's my little space to be able to get out just a little bit from the normal stationary lifestyle and reminisce and daydream, because you're dreaming about your next big adventure, and that's how you manifest things.
Y'all, I think I like my camper more than my house at this point. And I have an adorable little house. I love my house too, but this camper takes the cake. This is the perfect little nook to go meditate and just get those good vibes going, get all that good juju for that next trip that I'm manifesting. And I just enjoy being in this tiny little space so much. It brings me so much joy. So create a space like this in your house if you don't have a separate little space for it.
That leads us to our third tip, which is to dream big. Whether it's saving up for your next big adventure or embarking on a new career path, this can be your segue into getting back out on the road if that's what you want, or making your new stationary lifestyle a little bit more adventurous. You might find a career path that has a little bit more flexibility to be able to harness both lifestyles and be out on the road while you travel and make money at the same time. Having something to look forward to can keep the adventure of wanderlust alive and burning bright. So, like I said, I do go sit in my camper and I daydream. I don't ever stop dreaming, because when we stop dreaming, that's when we stop creating. And I don't ever want to stop creating. And I do want to get back out on the road eventually. I have options. I'm thinking about possibly like selling my house and living off the profits and getting a van that I could sustainably live in a little bit easier than the old vintage camper that I was traveling in. So I have options. I'm just not sure what path I'm going to go down yet. In the end, adjusting to normalcy can be a little bit challenging after such an adventurous life and road trip or adventure that you just went on. Remember that settling down doesn't mean that you're giving up your dreams of the nomadic lifestyle. It just means you're recalibrating and you're figuring out your next steps for your future and trying to find new ways of fulfilling those dreams. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. It was such a lovely little chat, and I hope this helps somebody who is on the path to settling down for a little bit before you can get back out there for another adventure. And it is a weird transition to come off the road and like really learn how to fulfill your life again in a different way. Sorry for the walking whirlwind here. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to hang out with Charlie and I today as we went on our walk in the park. And I hope this just gave you some inspiration on how to figure out how to get back into normal society, because it is challenging. And I don't think people talk about the effects of coming off the road enough. So hopefully this gave you some helpful tips and tricks on how to implement some excitement back into your life and find a new hobby, a new routine, a new something that just gives you that inspiration to make all your dreams come true, whether it's getting back out on the road or actually putting down roots to start this new life of not traveling. There's so many options.
I really wish that I didn't love my Nashville home so much and that I could turn this into a more permanent lifestyle. I still enjoy having roots and having the best of both worlds right now.
If you liked what you saw, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more travel tips and inspiration in the future. And I really hope to see y'all down the road. Y'all take care and don't ever stop wondering. Dream, live, and wonder. Tell them bye, Charlie. She pulls me everywhere.